Honey, you're home, and welcome to a special Planet Coaster 2 build in which we are building the wonderful dinosaurs from the 1991 series, TV series for the German ones. It's called Die Dinos, and I am a huge fan of that, and I'm gonna tell you why during today's video. But first thing first, let's talk about our sponsor of the channel, which is Instant Gaming, and without them I couldn't do videos like that, but more about later. Instant Gaming is a platform on which you can get game keys or in-game currencies for a great value, most likely discounted, and you can get DLCs, pre-orders, full games, all to a good value. You can check the link in my description. It's always in the description, you will always find it, and you can search for the games that you love or the DLCs that you still need, and you can always find it in there, so make sure to check out Instant Gaming if you can find something that you like. But now back to the video. Today we are building a roller coaster themed from the US series, or the 1991 series, Dinosaurs, or in German Die Dinos, as I said. And this is a series that is very close to my heart. It's pure nostalgia. It is so funny now being a parent and I just rewatched a couple of the first episodes to get into the mood, and oh boy, that's so funny. Now being on the other side, knowing that this series must have been written by absolute frustrated and tired parents. But hey, let's talk about that a little later in today's video, and first of all give you a bit of an idea how it came that I made this video and why Instant Gaming basically is the reason that I can do a video like that, because the effort I put in here is absolutely absurd. But again, let's just, go into it a bit more structured. So the other day, I thought about what made this channel, Rudi Camel, so strong, and what is the fact that you guys love the most. And it always has been these absurd projects of doing something completely out of scope. I was always just wanted to say, but like completely out of the box, completely different, and completely something that always takes you out on a journey to be inspired to do something new and to do something crazy. And you also know that in Planet Zoo, I've always been doing these kind of themed habitats around series and movies, and one of my favorite habitats, because I got a comment a couple days ago what my favorite ever habitat was, and it's very hard to answer, but definitely in the top 10 there is the Jumanji habitat I once built. I built the Jumanji house from the original Jumanji movie, and you can tell from my commentary and the topics I'm talking about. Yes, I'm old, but like I love the original Robin Williams featured Jumanji movie. So I built the whole house with all the animals in and so on, and even that little card game or board game. So that is something that made me strong. And the beauty of these things is that these projects always have something in it that we all can benefit from. I personally can reset myself because it's like a one-off project, and then after that I go back into my series. But I'm getting so many ideas myself from this. I'm testing new techniques. I'm testing out what is doable and what not. And for example, like building these houses now fully with the rocks, just also told me how much I'm waiting for the new rocks that we are getting with the upcoming update. But I wanted to test it before just to see what these rocks can do, and also the texture of those, because the rocks apparently will be the same rocks from the model, but they will get their own flexi color texture, which is pretty damn cool. And also I wanted to test out what we can do in the game, being a bit more creative with the pieces available, and hence I was also elaborating, or like exploring, I should say, not elaborating. I was exploring what I can do with this project. So I went on in as a little test, just to be honest. This is why I built the house as a first thing, and to be completely honest with you, that went in relatively quickly. I think that just didn't take me longer than 1.5 to 2 hours or so, just to see if it's doable or not. You can see even the coaster itself wasn't built at that point. I just put down a station, and I didn't really make my mind up too much. The only thing I knew was that I wanted to have a switch track in here that has a spike going into the house and then leading up in here, in that exact spot over there. That's the only thing I had in mind as a test, and that's relatively often how it goes. And there are also a lot of unnamed projects that I haven't continued because they did not deliver on exactly what I was talking about earlier. They didn't offer me that escape from the actual other projects I have, and they didn't offer me that spark, that inspiration that I need to continue and have the power and also the will to kind of go on with that one-off project, because you also have to kind of finish that in a certain time frame. This is exactly where instant gaming, by the way, comes in. When you guys, use my instant gaming, for example, I get a monthly fee from them, and I also get like partially from all the purchases, I get a very tiny percentage of it, and that leads obviously to a lot of different, like not a lot of, but at least a plannable amount of money, so to say, per month if I reach the target, and that is pretty cool. Because that does free you from the need of making videos just for the sake of videos and just for the sake of making money off of them. It's not like that I have my main job on YouTube, that's not, but definitely because I'm doing YouTube for so long, I do have some expenses just around YouTube, I purchased a couple of things, I recently got a new graphics card, and all these things obviously want to be paid. Hence there is a certain need that I do earn money from YouTube. And as you all know, at the moment, Planet Coaster 2 and maybe also Planet Zoo and other games don't work that well, because in my niche, it appeared that all of the games that have been released lately had not the smoothest of all releases. That being said, obviously I planned a lot, or I didn't plan, but I expected a lot more from City Skylines, obviously, 2 a year and a half ago, or I mean at the moment in Zoe, but in Zoe it's just a bit more of an expectable case, because it just was obvious that they need to go into early access and it's a bit more fair and plannable. But then again, Planet Coaster 2, obviously we all expected to become a bit more of a big one. And usually what would happen then is that you just still produce videos just to try to keep it running and gain interest, But it's a beauty that you have a chance, like I have at the moment, to spend that many hours on one video. And I'm very happy with the result. I'm very, very happy. I think it's, in a long time, one of my best builds for so many reasons. I think the ingenuity in it, what I tested out, is pretty good. I think there is a lot of nostalgia in here, a lot of storytelling that I like. Later in this video, we are going into the figures that you have, or the animatronics, the custom statues. I don't even know how to call them, but I did actually build Earl and the baby Sinclair. Both of them will be turned into an actual figure and out of the art shapes. It came in handy that the art shapes are now scalable down to 5%, otherwise that wouldn't have been doable. And it still looks a bit odd, to be honest. Earl is kind of, I think I nailed Earl in a way. It's not like 100% perfect, but I'm just like very happy with the result. But the baby Sinclair is kind of scary. But baby Sinclair is scary. I used this trick, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing over here. I'm creating a bit of a longer spike. This is not natively in the game. There seems to be a mod rather soon for it, but this is done totally unmodded. So what you can do is you can basically build your switch track, but then you have to measure, and it's like 19 or 20 meter of a piece you need to have, that you then delete and then later on put in your switch track again. So that way you can continue building the spike from the switch track much longer than we usually have it, and then you can reconnect the other side, which usually does end in a way, and it just kind of, you build a reverse switch track, if you will, like from the game's logic, and you can then align that perfectly to another track piece, and for whatever odd reason the game actually does connect both pieces. So I'll show you that in a little real-time part at the end, so you have an idea, because we will also do a little on-ride, and you get the share code of this blueprint, because apparently I'm going to share that with you. Hopefully it's going to work as one file. Otherwise I need to share the park file, I guess. But yeah, we'll see about that. Now, I'm very, very happy that I worked out how this spike kind of thing works. However, I am obviously hoping that Frontier will fix this in the future and give us more options about the switch tracks and special track pieces, because some of them, they're so nice, but sometimes I'm wondering, like, why can we not just build longer spikes and so on, because that's how it realistically works. So yeah, apparently I found a couple of little tricks here to do that from YouTube tutorials. I forgot who that was who actually did this video. Hold on, if I may have it open, I can tell you. So yeah, there's one video from .NET's Corner but the actual one I watched, is it that one? Oh no, actually I think it is that one. Yeah, it's from .NET's Corner. So if you want to watch that one, it's .NET's Corner, and they also have another one telling you how to align switch tracks, Spike Tutorial Part 2. They have a new trick to do that, and makes things a lot more easy if you need it. So we are moving over now to building the statue, the figure, the whatever you call that, the custom animatronic of Earl Sinclair, our most favorite lazy dad. And that took me forever. I think it took over 3 hours, and this is already the final attempt. I did not bother to put in the first absolutely horrible attempts. I even deleted the save files from that because they were horrendously scary. I did some big mistakes in the building that I then figured out relatively quickly. I don't know why my mind had a little bit of a problem, a barrier. There was something in my head that was broken, and it looked all too odd. So I went in to use the platform again to make it mirrored. That apparently makes working these things out a lot easier. So if I would have built this one in Planet Coaster 1 or in Planet Zoo, this would have taken me almost double the amount of time, because since you cannot mirror any pieces, it would have been a nightmare to do that on both sides simultaneously and then exactly just rotate the pieces on the other side and then mirror them. That just never works. And in the meantime, like I tried while doing this to use different pieces to get some details in, but I ended up only using art-shaped pieces because they work the best, because you can scale them so small right now that you have a bit of a more flexible approach to that, and you can really use them in a nicer way. And you can see I'm building this head now in way too big, and then I'm going to scale that down later on. Yet again, I had another little problem because I didn't think about that. I should have built directly in the size that I wanted to, because scaling things down in the platform appears to be a bit of a problem, because you scale including the mirror option, which kind of drags all the pieces together because of the way how the mirroring works, if that makes sense to you. It's a bit of an odd one, so it doesn't scale perfectly relative. It also scales the mirroring with it, so the whole head merged into each other a little bit, so I needed to do that in a different way. Which funny enough worked out, but you can already tell Earl is becoming more and more apparent over here. You will see there will be a little cut in a bit, and I needed to do a little break because I felt like, okay, something still isn't completely right about this one, so I need to do a bit of a break. And after I did this break, I think it went from 70% to being 90% nice, so that is something I really do like. So yeah, I tried to get in with a couple more elements in here, and I forgot, I looked up which species he was going to be. Was that like Brontosaurus or something? Hold on. I'm just gonna tell you which species that thing is, because it's a Megalosaurus. A Megalosaurus it should be, and because his wife Fran, she is an Allosaurus, and I found that funny because the baby is also a Megalosaurus, which tells you quite a lot about what the series is going to tell us about a classic image of a family, representation of a family. I think there can't be more classic influence to that. It's the most classic and conservative yet funny depiction of a 90s family, I guess. More so than like maybe real life kind of series or so. Just the humor in it is so broken in a way, but then again so great, because so many things just reflect how it is in real life. You can't make it up if you don't know it. It's really something you have to live through, and the way your kids, for example, don't really do what you can imagine that even if you don't have kids, but let me tell you, even though you know it, experiencing it is something else. And if you do have the experience that you think you control your kids, but they do control you in a way, and this is exactly what the baby does. And it's so funny that the baby can speak from the beginning on, because it's kind of the main character leading the story. That there are obviously some episodes where it's not the baby as the main character, but yeah. We apparently also needed to incorporate the job of Earl. He is basically pushing trees, which is still such a funny job to have. And there are some very funny there are some very funny episodes where they do talk more like philosophically about how the job is needed and that they do prevent the area from being flooded and so on. And like there are some very horrendous, funny reasons to why it's such an important job, and it just kind of reflects obviously the it's kind of actually critical towards the environmental impact of industries and work. And it's kind of funny how progressive the series in its whole appearance was, except not except, but despite the fact they are portraying such a classic family. I think maybe it's because of that even that they are using this very conservative family. I think I have 7 pronunciations of conservative this video, but take the one you like the most, I guess. I find it very interesting, and then the topics they have, like there's this one episode where the baby won't sleep at night, and a friend, the mama, is going to take the baby the whole night, and the baby is like, I'm not gonna sleep, I'm not gonna sleep, I'm not gonna sleep, and then she's like, taking the baby on her arm and starting to shake, and then the baby notices, like, hey, wait a second, you want to I know what you're doing, you want to put me to sleep, right? And I tell you, it's exactly that. It's like you have a little baby. Same goes with my son right now. He's freaking tired. You look at his face and he's like looking at you with like one eye already hanging down, the other eye is kind of blinking already. He's like almost falling asleep, and then the moment you start to kind of take him on the arm and you wanted to shake him a little bit to sleep, he's like all eyes open, like, oh no, Dad, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I'm not sleeping. It's so hilarious, and I love the fact that they do incorporate that. Speaking of incorporating, we do have our wonderful trailer of Mr. Richfield, who's the supervisor at the company that Earl works at, and he's kind of the funny, typical corporate CEO, and obviously abusing his employees where he can, and being that rude person. It's so fun to have him always in that trailer, and the only thing I have in mind still from like in the memories is like whenever there is a series, he's like screaming, Mr. Sinclair, and it's like always he's like, oh my god, I need to go to Richfield, and yeah, I think it's BP Richfield or so, or BH or HP or whatever. I forgot exactly what it was, but yeah, it's so fun, and I wanted to build that figure as well, but I gave up at some point because I also could, solve that issue with a screen. And at the end of the day, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the screen. It does what it does, and it kind of is a bit more of an interactive one that we can trigger. So I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy. I won't be too critical with me here at this point, because again, one of these figures took me 2 to 3 hours, and Baby Sinclair took about an hour, if I remember correctly, because I could take the bases of Earl, so that made the whole thing a bit more quick. But as I said, I did do a revamp of Earl in a while, and you can see I also animated them. I cut out the faces because animating just was horrible to look at in a time lapse. So here you can see Earl already standing there and waving, and his tail also wiggling the whole time. And this is when I decided to, do the baby as well. As you can tell over here, starting to get in with the pink, and it's kind of funny where the connection is. Earl still having under his chin the kind of pinkish color, which also goes to the belly, and then the baby is fully pink, which I just find it interesting how they do the depiction of these animals, which then become these puppets, I guess, in the series. And yeah, I don't know. There's so much charm about it. Nowadays, you can tell me. I do hope, like, from the demographics of my channel. By the way, a little sneaky side note: if you're watching this video till this point in time and you're not subbed to the channel, please consider subscribing, because still people watching these videos with about 70% of you not being subbed. It's crazy. You see that in the analytics, and I just recently checked out for this video specifically the age groups, and I saw that still so many people are without being subbed. I know for you guys it's not that big of a difference, because the algorithm became very good at suggesting content you watch anyways, and so there is not that big point in subbing. But before I die, okay, from my allergy, please do sub, okay? No, I'm just kidding, but like, for a creator, it's very important, because by subbing to the channel, you tell the algorithm that you keep liking the stuff, That's just the thing, because just as a bit of a trivia, if you once don't click a video on it because you don't like that, I don't know, topic or this specific game, but next time you're around back again, in your eyes and in my eyes, that's totally fine. But YouTube thinks, hey, wait, they don't look the next video. Oh, maybe we don't suggest the next video to them. And that's how it happens, why you sometimes don't see my videos. So subbing to the channel will basically get rid of that issue. Helps me to grow, helps you to see my videos, and doesn't really change anything for you. The videos will still be on your front page anyways. Just that bit of a trivia here. Thank you so much if you do. But back to that, since you guys are also a lot younger than I am, I really would love to see who of you does know the series. You need to tell me in the comments. Do you grow up, or did you grow up with this series? Maybe did your parents maybe show you this series already? I'm not joking. There is a good chance that your parents are in an age that they have watched the series and now showed this to you. If you're being somewhat between 18 and 25-ish around, and you have young parents, there's a big chance that they grew up with this series. Like, not gonna lie, that can happen. So I would be very interested to know if you guys did already watch this video, if you know it or not. I mean, apparently if you have clicked on the video, you either found it interesting or you have watched it, or you just watch all of my videos, which again is super cool. But again, this nightmare over here, by the way, is exactly what I said earlier. There is this issue that you cannot scale properly when this is still on a platform. And there is this trick to get things out of the platform and change them if you manipulate that in the way I did. So first of all, you take one side, copy that over into another group, and then you take the other side and copy that over into the group. Then you merge them back together, and you have that one figure on both sides done. Because I needed this blueprint in order to put it on the front of the coaster cart. And it's a shame that I couldn't scale it down as much as I wished to. I did, as you can see over here, then it was just kind of becoming very horrible. And I did fix as best as I could, but still, I would have needed now to look for some better pieces to go even smaller. So yeah, if Frontier wants to go down to 2%, maybe that would be nice. I don't know. What I don't get with the art shapes is why we can't scale them even free. Like, even go to 1% down. I think they don't have the texture and so on shouldn't be the issue, right? I don't know. Anyways, it's time for us to go into the real-time part and show you around, and apparently last but not least, ride this wonderful coaster. Can't wait to show you around, so let's hop over into the real-time part. We are in the game. As you can see, Earl and baby Sinclair sitting in front of us here, waving us to cheer us and welcoming us to this real-time part. Now zooming out, and first things first, the first thing we are doing is we are basically, oops, hold on for a sec. I was already pretty worried that, and exactly that's the issue. 4,900 pieces. That is basically a very big problem. Okay, I was about to share that with you guys, and I'm wondering if I can. Okay, I can't do a blueprint right out of that. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now, we could get rid of a lot of these things. I mean, I don't save that file. You know what we're doing? We are doing the following. First of all, I'm just going to get rid of all the things, and then we're just going to say nature. So I think this is the easiest way to get rid of quite some pieces on the outsides here. I think they are not like so necessary, and this is why I'm getting rid of these and seeing that we can save some pieces with those things. And apparently, these two ones over here are also apparently having a lot of pieces, so I don't want to get rid of those because they're part of it. So let's see if we can maybe deal with this. I'm just going to do a quick thing. If not, I'm going to share that with you later on, and you have to find the code elsewhere. So how many pieces do we have now? 4,700. Okay, this is a task I can't fix right now. This is a problem. How many pieces do you have? Okay, wait, hold on. Scenery score. Yeah, okay, but do I... Okay, so this is how many pieces is that? 400 something, but it's just like because of those two. Is it right? 4,000. Okay, is that the building itself should already be horrendous? Yeah, it is. Okay, I got to figure out. It's a bit of an unfortunate thing that we now have the limit again. It was gone, but now it's back. Okay, well, maybe I'm going to share the whole file with you then, and I need to delete a couple things first. But yeah, never mind then. Now, I'm going to show you around before we drive this, because I did actually, or rewrite it, I should say. I did actually do a couple of things off screen that you haven't seen. So with baby Sinclair now sitting over here, I did something funny like this. Like we have like a bit of a nice moment where we have the feet in here. This is the corner where the people sit, like the dinosaurs sit. And then when Sinclair is at Ridgefield is calling them, this is how it looks. I'm wondering also what the What's going on with the gate over here? It looks... Oh, no, it's actually fine. It's the correct height. And then... apparently what I also did is I did do a bit of the queue over here, as you can see. I did do a little trick to get these vending machines into that position. There is like a path behind which made this available. And then when I did this, I noticed like how cool would it be to have the option to have not only these things, but maybe drinking fountains or so in a queue as well. This is something that people do want to have. And yeah, then we do have this scene over here with Earl, and now it already happened, but look at that, it's so far. Like from a distance, that looks fantastic, but the closer you get to baby Sinclair on the right, I mean, you can tell that it is the one, but it still looks somehow horrific. I made him, you know, tangled to that, and then not the mama is on the front. It's kind of hovering a little, but yeah, there you go. So the baby is kind of the key element of this ride, if you will. It is the, you know, part of the ride itself. Now, without too much talking, let's have a little ride on the coaster. Once there's one coming back to the station, we are hopping in. Oh gosh, the lighting in this game, like inside lighting is just, it's just so chef kiss. Look at that. It is so freaking good. Oh, I love that. I love that, guys. I love that so much. You know, that is fantastic. Okay, this looks absolutely gorgeous. Where's the coaster, by the way? Can we just have a look? I mean, is it already? Ah, there you go. There it's coming. It's coming around, so it's gonna go up here. It goes for a bit more of an airtime hill than in. It's not like the coaster itself is not perfect, you know. It's good enough. It's good enough. There's a couple of little things I would need to fix, but yeah, you know. You can always do better. You can always do better, but this is not about the coaster itself. This was definitely about the experience. So this is also why we're not riding front bumper. We are riding it now from a proper guest POV. Can't wait to see how that goes. As soon as we're starting, there's going to be... It's kind of a bit of an odd one that you don't see the face of the baby. It's definitely something for the outside watching people. This looks a bit weird from the back, but yeah, here we are. Oh, no, I spoiled something. Oh my god. Okay, we want to have that on the ride. I did spoil something. What a poor person I am. Okay, let's go. Let's have a look. Being launched up here, going into the first kind of element, just turning around, get a proper bit of airtime here, going into another very nicely 90-degree banked area, going over, zigzaggy around, having another tight corner, then, oops, oh wait, I gotta get rid of this one, that is still in the way. Then we turn around here, a bit of a close one with the fence, going another very highly banked turn, and then we come over here into what is going to be a bit of a scare, as you have seen with Earl pushing the tree, and then we've got Not the Mama, woohoo! Going back through here. Hopefully the timing is now better. Yes, it is. So it slides all too. The lock is back in position. Ah, wonderful. I just fixed the timing a little bit before the video, and now it's almost perfect. I could have done the stones a little bit earlier even, but yeah. So then we go in, have a bit of an inversion over here, even though the coaster naturally doesn't feature one, but here we go. This bit over there was a bit odd, but it works, kind of going a bit of another airtime hill, very close one with the supports, going around the corner, breaking in, the gates open, and then we do have Mr. Richfield shouting at us, and oh my god, what were we gonna do? Oh no, he's shouting at us on what's gonna happen. We are shaking because he's like shouting so much on us, and now there we go, we escape underneath the desk of Mr. Richfield, go around the corner, then we bump up here again, have a bit of a nice launched airtime hill, if you will, around this helix, and then back into the station. Ah, yeah, it's mega. I really like it. I think it's a very good storytelling coaster. It's not the most intense one ever, but yeah, it's definitely very nice. It's definitely very nice. Okay, I think I need to share that as a park, unfortunately, because I think there's no point in getting this into a proper blueprint of 4,000 pieces, because just that one is already so much, and then our two friends over here too. I'm just wondering what happened if I delete those two over here. I mean, we still have these things. I just want to see how many pieces that will be then. Ah, okay. I mean, it's a lot closer now. it's a lot closer now. Like, this is definitely something, but I mean, they are part of it, right? They do belong to this coaster. It's a shame to not have them in, gotta say. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can make, and then I'm gonna give you a little bit of an outro. Alright then, here we go. As you can see, there is the share code to your top right, 9BXLCVVXR, if you wanna get that one. So this is in. I did upload this. Hopefully that's gonna work. So yeah, it's a shame. It's actually a shame that we do have the limit now, but here we go. So the coaster is now in an empty park. As you can tell, I just quickly deleted this and people are coming to ride the coaster. Yeah, I cannot tell how much fun it was to do this build. Hopefully you guys found it as inspiring and as funny and as nostalgic as it can be. And if you liked it, please make sure to, you know, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or share it with your friends of a bit of a nostalgia kick. So let's do that, and let's say not the mama for the last time, and enjoy basically this wonderful bit here. And I talk to you, as always, in the next one. Have a good time, and goodbye.